Season 18 of Overwatch 2 is just over 2 weeks away. So let's have a look at what we can expect for this banger of a mid-year season. Season 18 of Overwatch 2 is going to be the mid-year season. Ever since Overwatch 2 was released, the first and the mid-year season have traditionally been pivotal in whatever growth and evolution Overwatch 2 made throughout the year. The mid-year season was when they released PvE, Flashpoint, Clash, and a bunch of really important features. On top of that, the team has been hinting that Season 18 is going to be a banger of a season. At least that's the way that Aaron Keller, the game director for Overwatch, put it in some of the interviews he did. And that, my friends, is raising expectations, not only for me, but in the whole community. Especially since every single season that they released this year, apart maybe from Season 17, has been huge. The biggest seasons we've ever seen in Overwatch. Through game changes, with the addition of perks, stadium, map votes, hero bans, it's just been so much. Raising the bar on top of that is going to be challenging. But I think they're ready to take on that challenge. See, on one hand, we know quite a lot of what is coming in Season 18. Yet, I can't shake the feeling that they're still hiding a lot of stuff from us. In any case, let's run over everything that we know. Or do a really educated guess. Surprisingly enough, we know yet again who is going to get the mythic skin in Season 18. They introduced it during a live stream 2 weeks ago. It is Sojourn. She is getting the ultraviolet sentinel skin, which is, well, according to them, cyberpunk themed. Now, the mythic weapon skin is still a big unknown. If you would ask me, if you would force me, if you would push me to make a choice, I would say that it is going to be a tank weapon. Maybe Maga. We'll see. Now, a lot of people have been asking me if we're going to get that mythic weapon skin at the start of the season again, like they did with Season 17. And my answer would be, most likely not. I think that was an exception because of the fact that they released the Nerf collab past mid-season, which included a ton of weapon skins. I sounded really German there. Weapon skins. Jawohl. Unless they do another collab around mid-season that includes weapon skins. Always possible. The question is, who would they do a collab with that would work with weapon skins? I don't know. Lego maybe? Some Lego weapons? That could be cool. Now, as I've said multiple times, overall, Overwatch seasons do not have a singular team anymore. They abandoned that a few seasons ago. Now there's actually a few of them, a few smaller themes. But as always, the first team could be an extension of the Sojourn mythic skin, so a continuation of the Season 1 Cyber Demon thematic bundle thing. I'm pretty sure they still have plenty of ideas for cyberpunk skins for all of the heroes. And to be fair, I like that season. It is still a good season. I mean, thematically. And when it comes to all of the other teams, well, we have seen them do a few of the sets that they showed off, let's put it that way, in previous surveys that they sent out to the player base. Like we've seen a cat theme, we've seen the 8-bit team in Season 17, so I would not be surprised that one of those bundles that we saw in the surveys would pop up in Season 18 as one of the themes. Could be anything. Could be that they're going to be tied into an event. I mean, officially, we have not gotten any update on the Summer Games, on that event, which has been around since Overwatch 1. I personally had expected that the Nerf collab would be tied into the Summer Games, but no, that was not the case. I mean, they used some beach teaming, but that was about it. They have not said a single word about the Summer Games, which gives us two options. Either the Summer Games are coming at the start of Season 18, or they were cancelled, which would suck. I mean, it's also the only option they have for a more thematical event this season, since Halloween is going to be in Season 19. However, there is going to be an anniversary event, most likely. Somewhere near the end, around October 4th. That might come with some extra bells and whistles. I mean, we could finally get that dancing mode for Ramatra that everybody has been asking for. Literally everybody. What dancing mode would you give to Ramatra? Let me know in the comments. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be at least one new collab. In the last 2 seasons, we got 2 collabs, both in Season 16 and 17. But as Dean Rogers said during an interview, that is not the new base level. That is not the standard. They basically just see what they have available and what they can do within the season, and they just do it. It could be 1, could be 2, maybe we'll even get 3. Who knows? Now, what those collabs could be, that is a really big question. See, just a few weeks ago, they did one of those surveys, but instead of asking questions about skins, they asked questions about collabs. And they had a list of 70 possible collabs that they were thinking of, ranging from Tamagotchi and Hello Kitty to Masters of the Universe Star Wars, and there was even Stranger Things in there. There was, however, no, you know what? I'm not going to go there. I'm going to just chill. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to stay calm. There was no Thundercats. Come on. Sorry. I made a video on all those collabs they had in the surveys 2 weeks ago. Go have a look on my channel. There will be a Wuyang release event. That's right, in Season 18 we're getting a new support hero, Wuyang, or Aqua, as it was called before. By the way, in the next few days they're going to be releasing lore, going to be releasing a gameplay trailer, and a developer live stream all about Wuyang, just before the test event starts next Thursday. So make sure to subscribe, because I'm going to have video content on all of it. Now, in theory, since this is a hero season, as I just said, we shouldn't expect a map. However, this is the mid-year season, the banger mid-year season. Maybe they'll squeeze in a map. Which one? Could be anything. But that being said, we do know that there's going to be 2 new maps, but that is in Stadium. I'll come back to that in a second. First, let me highlight some of the changes that we're getting in the core game modes. We're getting new perks, a lot of them. The promise was that every single hero will get at least 1 new perk, but we'll see. But this is nothing too surprising or new. They have said from the start that they wanted to kind of shake up the perks every 6 months, keep them fresh and interesting. But there's also a bit of a philosophy shift going on here. First off, they said that pretty early on that they want to get rid of the tit-for-tat kind of perks, where players have to sacrifice one thing to get something extra. They just want the perks to be on top of everything that you have available without taking anything away. I like that. Second, they want all of the major perks to be impactful. Some of them are, but there are definitely perks out there, major perks that just are not impactful enough. And that is something they want to change. They want you to feel stronger no matter which of the major perks you pick. Beyond that, we're also going to probably get some core kit changes, like the basic changes like we used to get before perks in Stadium. So yeah, there's going to be a bit of a shift in the meta in Season 18, for sure. They also have been working on an advanced tooltip that is going to give us a lot more information about all of the abilities for our favorite heroes. Right now, it is kind of difficult to figure out how much damage something exactly does, what the critical damage is, how far it actually shoots. That is information that will be available in the game starting with Season 18. And that is definitely going to help us pick our perks, but also in Stadium. In Season 18, they're also going to be doing the first step in all of the progression changes they have planned for the next few seasons. And in Season 18, the focus is going to be on the rewards. Team 4 wants us to feel more rewarded for the time that we put into the game. And I can only applaud that idea. I've been hitting that button, well, let's say for the last 3 years, so I'm happy to hear that. There might be some tuning going on to Hero Band's map votes, all the other systems. And then there's, of course, Stadium. That game mode is getting its own series of changes, and yeah, it is a long list yet again. First off, 3 new heroes are being added: Winston, Brigitte, and Farah. And in the mid-season, Tracer is also joining the roster. There's going to be a new game mode that is exclusive to Stadium called Payload Race. And that one comes with 2 maps: the Thames District, which is set in London, and Power Keg Mine, a Route 66 inspired map, or kind of in that same area. And we actually got to see that one in action during the OWCS mid-season championship last week. And we're finally getting the unranked version of Stadium. It is going to be shorter, only best out of 5. The cast distribution is going to be a little different, and it is going to allow crossplay. The new draft feature is going to be added. Or at least that is the plan. And that is going to have you pick your hero one team at a time. So first, Team A's tank gets to pick a hero, then Team B's tank gets to pick a hero. Now, according from what we've been hearing and they've been talking about, that might also be the moment where one of the tanks gets to ban other heroes to avoid them being counterplayed extremely heavy at that point. And then we're going to be moving on to the first support for Team A, first support for Team B, the second support for Team A, the second support for Team B, and then to DPS. You get the gist. Now, I'm very curious about the finer nuances of that system, but I'm going to be honest, I'm not a fan from what I've been hearing and what I've seen in other games. I don't know. I already have a really difficult time staying awake at the start of the game because of all the waiting. And I think this might just kind of trigger a little more toxicity if someone picks your support and you have to play another support. We'll see. Now, beyond that, we can, of course, expect balancing changes to happen to all of the powers and the items in Stadium. That is going to be a long list for sure. There's going to be a new Drives event. There's going to be a new Maximilian's Vault. There's going to be drops on Twitch. Some at the start, hopefully a skin. In the mid-season, we get the loot boxes. And at the end of the season, we'll get the Battle Pass tier skips. We know how that works by now. But more importantly, as I said at the start, a bunch of surprises. Seriously, I'm generally more excited for the stuff we do not know anything about than everything we actually know. I really feel like something big is coming. And you know what? We're most likely going to find out in 2 weeks at Gamescom. I think that is going to be the place and the time that you need to pay attention. Made a whole video already about it last week. Go check that one out. And whatever they announce, I'll be on top of it. And make sure you guys are the first to find out. Well, unless you're watching the Gamescom streams, and then I'll be the second one to tell you about it. Season 18 of Overwatch 2 is starting August 26th. Now tell me, what are you looking forward to the most in Season 18? Let me know in the comments, or come tell me during my streams. I stream over at twitch.tv/Deemzies. Come join us. For now, however, that was it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It always helps me out. I also want to thank my patrons. I could not make these videos without you guys. You too can become part of the family over on patreon.com/theomnicpost. If you have a few minutes left, maybe check out one of my other videos and make sure to subscribe. But above all, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Bye bye.